Recently, I started reading like a lot more Marvel because DC has always been like where like I fucked with it more than Marvel because like Batman, Superman, I just fuck with the superheroes like in DC more than the Marvel ones and the villains. But recently, I started like doing more Marvel stuff. I watched X-Men Evolution. It was good. And so, for my Marvel journey, I started with Fantastic Four. I didn't want to go to like the 50s because that's I can't do that. I cannot read no 50s comics at all. So, and in Fantastic Four, it was good. The 60s had some good comics, kind of. A lot of it was boring for me, for real, because I don't like how the niggas speak in the 60s. It's like that shit that like she was just she was boring mostly, but the Fantastic Four had some good moments. Like Galactus, I believe that was in the 60s. I don't remember for real. And so like, but now the 70s though. The 70s is when Marvel started actually cooking for real. They had a Ghost Rider and shit. But now, see, look, I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm trying to talk about like the major events of Marvel. Like in the 70s, they started hitting their stride on like with the events for real. Because the 60s, the only event for real was the uh, uh Rita Sue wedding, and that's, I'll be honest, it was cool, but like I didn't care for it. Like it was a good ass moment, but like comic itself was ass for me. Like I didn't really fuck with it. The first of these major events was the Kree Skrull War, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really fuck with it for real. Like the Kree Skrull War, I didn't really care for it. It was some cool moments, Captain, Marvel and shit. Like he was a cool character, and like and Rick Jones going to the High Evolutionary, and like he basically like I kind of forgot what he did, but like he pretty much solved everything. He helped end the war for a little bit. And like I didn't really fuck with the story. Like that's all I have to say about that. It was kind of like the weakest story in the 70s because like I don't really know why I didn't fuck with it. I had the Avengers, Captain Marvel first meeting the Avengers, and that's about it. Like Rick Jones is probably like the main highlight for me. But now we talking about like the good shit now. Avengers versus Defenders was fucking magnificent. Like, god damn, it was like I want to say magnificent. I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna take that back. It was entertaining because like seeing fucking Avengers and the Defenders fight each other was fucking entertaining. It was fun seeing how like the Defenders was just like they were just shitting on the Avengers for real. Like the fucking Defenders roster was just more interesting and stacked than the fucking Avengers roster. Nigga, the Avengers had fucking Mantis and Swordsman. Like I didn't know fucking Swordsman was a fucking Avenger. But hey, that nigga was there at the ending where they teamed up against Loki under Mamu, and like at the end of the fight, Thor and Tony like figure out each other's identity, being the first Avengers to know each other's secret identity. But no, it was nice. It was like a cool moment. Loki getting brain dead, was it was an entertaining event. And now after that, we got the OG Clone Saga, and that was ass. The fucking OG Clone Saga was just it started off decent, It was all mystery about who the fucking Jackal was, like who is this nigga? And like the main thing about that made it like suck is like when they revealed who the Jackal was, it was like the professor nigga, and like and his like motive for being the Jackal was fucking shit, and like with him being in love with Gwen Stacy made it even like worse, like him being in love with Gwen is this nigga's like main reason for being evil, and he's like mad at like fucking Peter for being the reason why Jean died. And like it was just a event that I'm like, okay, niggas fuck with this more than the 90s version. I, I fuck with the 90s version, even though I was like fucking elementary school when I read it. Like finally in the 70s, there was the Phoenix Saga, you know, and that was a Claremont run, and it was a good ass fucking comic. The Phoenix Saga did a good job introducing us to the Phoenix Force. It made Jane like more prominent. But now in the Phoenix Force, she was like basically the main character of it. She fought fucking the fucking Fire Lord. She went into space, even though that's the ending of it was kind of like I was kind of getting bored because like I didn't really care for like what the fuck was going on. Then it was nice seeing her like absorb like the fucking this universal bomb or some shit, and like that was entertaining. After the Phoenix Saga, Marvel started pumping out a shit ton of events in the 80s. Like they dropped 13 of them motherfuckers. And like at the start of it all was the X-Men. The 80s was the X-Men's decade. Like they were in most of the events in the 80s. And like to start off the 80s, nigga, they had the Dark Phoenix saga. And that is one of the most like one of the most important X-Men events and one of the like most like popular stories in comics ever. Deadass, from what I'm at right now, it's peak Claremont X-Men. The Dark Phoenix saga showed like how like deadly the Hellfire Club can be. Like with Mastermind basically being like, to me, Mastermind was a bigger villain in that comic than Shaw. You know, Shaw was the main nigga. Mastermind was like the nigga like doing the actions, while Shaw was like in the background for real. X-Men fighting the Hellfire Club in the story basically started like the fucking public to distrust them even more. And that was a fucking like it was great seeing and like showing how like how like powerful the Phoenix Force is, with Jean fucking destroying an entire fucking planet by absorbing its star, and like my goat Scott being the reason why like they stopped like Dark Phoenix from like fucking everything over was great. Like almost immediately after this saga, we get Days of Future Past, which was a decent event. It was introduce Future Kitty, and it showed like it's an important story. Like it's like just like with Dark Phoenix saga, like it's Days of Future Past is like an important story, but like reading it, like I don't. It was cool. Like it made the public like not fuck with the X-Men even more because like Mystique trying to fucking assassinate a senator and like her basically starting like fucking up the future basically. That and like it was cool. But it was like I didn't like it was like two issues. And it was nice seeing like an adult Franklin Richards. But then after this story, we get some bullshit ass event called Contest of Champions. And oh my fucking god, I hated this event. This is probably the worst event so far in Marvel. Because nigga, it was basically just to promote some fucking superheroes no one fucking cares about. Nigga, I don't even remember all their fucking names. The only one I remember was fucking Shamrock. The fuck was this event? Like nigga, who gives a fuck about these niggas? What made me mostly mad about this event was because like I thought it was gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be like a battle royale with all the fucking superheroes on Earth and shit. Like all of them gonna be fighting and shit. So who's like the champion? But nah, we get this bullshit 10v10, I believe, with most of the heroes being like niggas we know, and others being like niggas we do not know. Cause like they just appeared in that bitch just not to be important ever again. Like there was a Muslim nigga, I believe. Like, okay. He was there, he did some shit. I'm like, okay, this event is useless. I don't like who cares? There was definitely some good things about this event, mainly being the fact that the Grand Master's first appearance and him trying to like to bring the Collector back to life. after he got fucking sniped by Korvac in a whole other Avenger story. Marvel did do a good job making this filler event feel more important by having like the Grandmaster's true goal is to be like make all the elders immortal. And, like for all that to pay off in like a Silver Surfer comic was, it was good. But like it took like I'd be like 4 years for us to see the Grandmaster's true goals. So we're done with that fucking bullshit. Now we gotta go to another trash event, Secret Wars. The 1984 Secret Wars was some of like the worst shit I ever fucking read because it just pissed me the fuck off. Because I was hyped because I didn't know that this fucking main reason this shit was made was because to promote the fucking action figures. It introduced a Spider Woman who I've seen her, but I didn't like know she would be appearing in Secret Wars. So when she appeared, just not to do anything, just to be there, just like she just appears out of fucking nowhere. I'm like okay, I'm guessing she might be important later on. But no, she just didn't do shit. After Secret Wars, she appears in a fucking Iron Man and she gets a backstory just for her to get like them to say that they were getting like a comic of her, like her solo series, just for that shit not to get made. I'm like, okay, she was a waste of fucking time then. Secret Wars started my hatred for fucking Shooter. This nigga did not know the fucking like characters he was writing for real. Cause nigga, the X-Men got done the fucking worst. First of all, niggas was like distrustful of the X-Men because like they're working with Magneto and like they heard niggas been wilding on the news and shit. And the X-Men, instead of chilling with these niggas, trying to like clear their name, they decide to leave them niggas secretly and banning them niggas just to, like to help out Magneto. Not really help out, but like they go to find Magneto because they feel like they won't be like trusted here. They're not trying to make them look good. Like they're not trying to make themselves look good. The X-Men were so fucking stupid in this event because like they just made themselves look worse instead of making themselves look better. And then what makes it worse is that they got shitted on in this event 2 times. Once by Spider-Man, like, and because like he figured out that they were leaving and they were trying to stop him, he just fucking toyed with them niggas. I don't know why fucking Storm didn't like try to like use her powers to like bring her back. For some reason, she didn't do it, and like that nigga Peter just fucking shitted on them niggas. And like, okay, I would have been mad at that. I would have been mad at that. But then the fucking Wasp does the same thing, and she just fucking shitted on them niggas. This event made the fucking Wrecking Crew major villains, and they immediately killed off Kang. Also, the Wasp and Colossus were just honestly the two most useless character in this fucking story. Because Wasp, most of this event wanders the fucking swamp, while Colossus just simps over some alien bitch who fucking was Johnny's one night stand for most of the event. This nigga just kept talking about how much he loves her, even though this nigga barely knows the bitch. The good parts of the event though was mainly Doom, Claw, and the Molecule Man. Now the 1985 Secret Wars was a good story, especially seeing Beyond and learn about humanity, all its beauty and flaws. Him going to other superheroes and asking them the meaning of life was entertaining, and him falling in love with Dazzler was a strange story, but like hey, it was interesting. Him trying to like make her into like a Beyonder, like giving her all his power, and she rejecting it was a nice little story. Also, him killing Death was also wild. The main problem I have with the story was Rachel Summers. She was just a fucking crash out throughout this most of this story. After like the X-Men's first encounter with the fucking Beyonder and her sensing how strong that nigga was, she just wanted to kill that nigga. Like her whole goal that entire event was just to kill that nigga. She fucking led the X-Men. She was basically the leader of the X-Men. But she was just telling them niggas to do everything. Like every time the fucking Beyonder pulled up, she was basically the leader, telling niggas like, "Hey, get this nigga now," and they were just doing it. Like other superheroes were actually trying to like talk to the Beyonder, and like he was asking them niggas like, "What's the meaning of life? Like, how do niggas move on and shit? You know, they were like answer for him. But the fucking X-Men with Rachel Summers, they were just on go on that nigga. She wanted this nigga so bad that she fucking merged with the fucking Phoenix Force. And then she took the life force of all the fucking X-Men without their consent just to fucking try to kill that nigga. But besides that, this was a decent story. Now I'm gonna skip over the Wraith War because who gives a fuck about Rom? But like it was some. Craven's Last Hunt was also a decent story. Not decent. It was actually an incredible story, and it was peak Craven basically. And that's all I have to say about that event. Now here's another X-Men one. Mutant Massacre felt the most intense out of these events, with the Marauders just fucking massacring the Morlocks, and them forcing the Colossus to kill for the first time, putting Nightcrawler in a coma, making Kitty stuck in her phasing form, and them niggas breaking Angel wings was fucking like that shit was intense. The combined might of the X-Men, X Factor, and a Thor nerfed by Hela just to fucking beat them niggas. Not really beat because the niggas got away, but even though the X-Men like won in the end, it still had like a shit ton of consequences with it. With Angel having his wings ripped off, and the Marauders putting so many X-Men out of action. Finally, we have Fallen Mutants, which feels like Marvel's version of Crisis of Infinite Earths. This event to me was just uninteresting. The main villain, Nas, or Naze, whatever the fuck that nigga name is, he was just an uninteresting ass nigga, bro. Like his motives, I didn't care for, and bro, it just felt like a lesser version of Crisis of Infinite Earths. Like it is like nigga, it was just ass, bro. All the tie-ins of this book was fucking ass too. Like the fucking Daredevil one, like okay, it was okay. Daredevil was an ass, but the writer of Daredevil and Nociente, whatever her name is, her Daredevil run is so boring. Such and such she's following up after fucking Frank Miller's Daredevil Born Again, which was a good ass story, even though it was short as fuck. It did do a good job with showing the mutants like saving the world in front of the public, and the public seeing how like all mutants are not bad was good. Like the X-Men like speaking to the news anchors before they went to fight Nas or Nate, whatever fuck that nigga name is. This was great. The X Factor side of this event introduced Warren's, Archangel, him becoming like a Apocalypse death. But the Apocalypse part was just fucking weak. And Caliban's betrayal, I did not care for. But it was nice to see Scott's speech to the public about mutants and humans getting along. Also, the public's finally seeing X Factor as heroes and throwing a parade for them was great. But the New Mutants part was also just fucking dog shit because it had barely anything to do with the goddamn event. It was just a stupid plot with a stupid character named fucking Birdbrain with nothing important happening besides Cypher. Now, the other events in the 80s that I haven't spoken about because I haven't read them niggas yet was Evolutionary War, Inferno, Atlantis Attacks, and Acts of Vengeance. I haven't read these shits, so I have no fucking opinion on them for real. But like right now, though, Marvel's like events, they have way more, but I feel like none of them so far has been as good as Crisis on Infinite Earths. Because like that as right now, I only read like three early DC events, which is Crisis, Legends, and a Millennium. Millennium was like the worst one. You know, Legends was decent, and Crisis was just fucking peak. I was like in the 80s, DC definitely has like better stories for real. Because Marvel right now, like it goes up and down like a lot. When it get peak, it gets fire. But oh my god, nigga, Marvel like when it gets down, oh my god, that shit is it's ass. But DC stories are just right now just great. Like I'm really enjoying Wonder Woman. I enjoyed Beast Booster Gold. Justice League International was great. The Outsiders was good. You know, Superman has been great. Batman obviously, you know, is decent. You know, Batman year 1 and year 2 was good as like, you know, little events. And that's all I honestly have to say for right now. But one day I'll probably make like another video on more events of Marvel or a DC version. So fuck you niggas and goodbye.
Hey, this is Future Me, and DC's Cosmic Odyssey is better than all the Marvel events so far, and it's the best DC event so far.